Okay, so if we summarize previous session, then in previous session we have discussed how to derive governing equation of motion and natural frequency equation for single rotor torsion system, right? Using both the approaches, Newton's second law as well as energy approach. So in continuation to that, before moving to today's session, in previous session, this mass moment of inertia I for any circular disk, I wrote that it's a mr square, but it is not mr square, it is 1/2 mr square. So we need to write here 1/2, and so that the final equation of natural frequency for single rotor torsion system is 2cj by L mr square, right? So this is the final equation for single torsion rotor system. Now we are moving further. So far we have derived natural frequency equation for longitudinal vibration for simple spring mass system, single rotor torsion system, so torsional vibration. Now today we are going to discuss about transverse vibration, transverse free vibration for 1D system. Single degree of freedom system. So suppose for transverse vibration, let us assume one cantilever beam. So this is one cantilever beam whose one end is fixed and second end is free. At the second end, if we assume one mass is at, which is n, and we are assuming this beam is massless. Beam is massless, right? Beam is not having any mass. The purpose of this beam is only to provide restoration, to provide elasticity, right? Now, this is the actual system. We have one cantilever beam and one mass is attached to the free end of cantilever beam. Now, you can imagine this scale as a cantilever beam, right? So this is the scale. If you assume this end as free and this end, this end as fixed, this left end as a fixed and right end as a free. Now, cross section of this scale is rectangular, and now we are assuming, suppose I am giving some initial, let me show you front view of this beam. This is fixed end, left hand side is fixed, right hand side is free. Now what we are doing, we are giving initial deformation to this free end, and then after we are releasing. Then what happens? This will vibrate with certain frequency, and after some time it will come back to its original position or its equilibrium position, right? So right now we are not considering any resistance to the motion. We are assuming it's a free vibration, there is no damping. Okay, so our second assumption in the derivation is no damping, means there is no resistance to the motion. Always there we have air drag, but that we are ignoring in our derivation. So air drag is present, due to that again after some time it come back to its original position, right? So these are our two assumptions, and the third assumption is it is vibrating in single plane, like it is vibrating in this horizontal plane only, not the plane which is perpendicular to you, right? It is only vibrating in horizontal plane. So only vibration in single plane, vibration in single plane. So these are our some assumptions for derivation. Now this beam is having some stiffness. So let me write equation of stiffness. You might be knowing equation of deflection for cantilever beam. Delta is equals to W L cube divided by CEI. Okay, so this is deflection equation for cantilever beam, where W is nothing but mg. If I assume this mass, then the W is nothing but mg, right? So mg is nothing but W. Is free length. This free length of beam. This is small n. And if you look, E is Young modulus of this beam material. E is Young modulus of beam material, and I is moment, area moment of inertia of this beam cross section. So suppose if I indicate cross section of this beam as a left hand side view, then we are assuming it is suppose circular, for example, right? Then I for circular section would be pi by 64 d raised to 4 if this beam is having diameter small d, then that would be I, right? Now this is deflection equation. What is the stiffness equation for this beam? Then K of this beam is delta by W, that is as per the equation, because stiffness is what? Stiffness is, sorry, it's an inverse force per unit deflection. So W by delta, that is what the stiffness. So if you take cross multiplication of this equation, then W by delta is nothing but 3EI by L cube. This is what representing this K equilibrium, that is representing stiffness of this cantilever beam. And now we are talking about transverse vibration. So here this is the beam axis and your mass is vibrating perpendicular to beam axis. That's why that is called as a transverse vibration. And this is the stiffness of this cantilever beam. And we already know mass of this lump at the end, right? So this is actual system. Let us draw mathematical model of actual system, so that we are presenting as single spring mass system, right? So I am assuming spring with stiffness K equilibrium, and at the end, suppose we are having some mass, which is N, right? Now we already know for this type of system, as per the Newton's approach, we need to go for free body diagram. Let us draw free body diagram. So what we are assuming, this is the mean position, x is equals to 0, and now we are giving initial deflection. Now we are moving this mass downward. That is what represented here. We are moving this mass downward. So similarly, we are stretching this mass downward up to certain initial deflection, and then after we are releasing, then what happens? This mass will move to and fro about this mean position, right? So our initial assumption is we are pulling this mass downward. I'm writing here acceleration force as mx double dot we are ignoring gravitational acceleration mg, because in previous sessions we have already discussed gravitational acceleration is overcome by initial deflection of spring. So there is no need to consider gravity acceleration now, right? So right now we are considering mx double dot only. So due to this initial acceleration force, the spring will store opposite spring force, which is in upward direction or the opposite direction to mx double dot. So that is how much? It is k equilibrium into initial deflection is suppose x, then k equilibrium into x. So this is free body diagram. This is free body diagram, right? Now we have already solved this type of system earlier using Newton's approach. So let us go for first of all Newton's approach. So Newton's second law. So based on free body diagram, we can say all the external forces, sum of all the external forces is equal to mx double dot. And I consider mx double dot positive, and mx double dot is going downward. So you consider downward direction as positive. So mx double dot, and if this direction downward is positive, then upward would be negative. So k equilibrium into x, that is in upward direction, right? So this is equation. Now let me write it in form of simple harmonic motion. So I am taking this on the right side equals to 0. Now I need to divide this by m, because multiplier of acceleration is m. So let us make acceleration multiplier as 1. So plus k equilibrium by m x is equal to 0. So this is what called as governing equation of motion for transverse vibration of cantilever beam. So this is called as governing equation of motion for transverse vibration, right? So once you derive this, then simply we can say this ratio of stiffness to mass ratio is nothing but indication of omega n square. So omega n square is equals to k equilibrium by m. Now omega n is equals to square root k equilibrium by m, right? Okay, so now let me write k equilibrium equation. So here we have, it's a 3 ei by L cube into n. So this is final equation of natural frequency for cantilever beam under transverse vibration, right? So if you see this equation, again natural frequency equation is square root stiffness to mass, but only change in the stiffness equation. If you take longitudinal vibration, then stiffness equation k equilibrium is EA by L. Similarly, if you take torsional vibration, then k equilibrium value is C theta by L. And now if you take transverse vibration, so this is for torsional vibration, this is for longitudinal vibration. And now if you call about this is torsional vibration, and if you talk about transverse vibration, then k equilibrium equation is 3ei by L cube for cantilever beam, right? So only change in the stiffness equation equation. Otherwise, each and every single degree of freedom system you can represent by spring mass system. Simple spring mass system. And k value is every time changing as per the direction of vibration. So this is k equilibrium for transverse vibration of cantilever beam. If I change this to simply supported beam, then again you get variation in the equation. Now here you will not have 3 EI by LQ. There you will be having 48 EI by LQ. If you talk about a simply supported beam, let me show you simply supported beam as well. So if you talk about transverse vibration of simply supported beam, simply supported beam with point mass its center. What we are assuming? We are assuming one simply supported beam. Suppose this is simply supported beam. We assume two supports here, and now take mass at the midpoint. So if you assume length as L, then mass will be a distance L by 2 from both the ends. So this is your system, and now if you want to find transverse vibration, then only you need to consider K equilibrium of this beam. Then K equilibrium for simply supported beam with point mass at the center is 48 EI by LQ. And mass is same, so I can straight away say omega n is nothing but square root K equilibrium by m. Just put K equilibrium value from here and m. So this is natural frequency equation for simply supported beam with point mass at the midpoint. So this system can also be represented by one spring mass system. This is spring with stiffness K equilibrium, which is given here, and at the end we have mass. So this is mathematical model for this system. Only change is K equilibrium is this one. For simply supported beam, K equilibrium is this. For cantilever beam, K equilibrium, if you talk about cantilever, as we have already seen, if it's a cantilever beam with point mass, then only changing K equilibrium value. It's a 3EI by L2. That is the only change. So now if you take fixed beam, now if you consider mass at some location, then only you need to derive equation of K equilibrium for this. And after getting K equilibrium, you can straight away say omega n for fixed beam is nothing but K equilibrium by m. Just find value of the equation of K equilibrium for fixed beam. Okay, fine. So this is about transverse vibration. Same you can derive using energy approach. So here if you see in this, if you go for energy approach instead of for cantilever beam, if you go for energy approach instead of Newton's second law, then what is energy approach? In previous session also we have derived natural frequency equation using energy approach. So same I am writing here. Now only change is we have consider this is fixed end, one spring. This is for cantilever beam. So I call this K equilibrium as K equilibrium as 3EI by LQ, and I consider one mass at the end, and then as per energy approach, it's the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy is equal to constant. For better understanding of this, you can refer our previous lectures. So kinetic energy for any mass in one direction, that is 1/2 mv square. So differentiation of displacement one time, so mx dot square plus potential energy stored in this spring with stiffness K equilibrium will be 1 K equilibrium into this is x, so x square is equal to constant. Now to get this in terms of simple harmonic motion equation, that differentiate this entire equation by time. So 1/2 m 2x dot, differentiation of x dot again, then x double dot, which is acceleration, plus 1/2 K equilibrium 2x, differentiation of displacement one time, then that will give velocity, so x dot is equals to constant differentiation is 0. Then 2 cancel out from both the terms. Then m x double dot, now x dot is common in both, so let us take outside of bracket, and here this K equilibrium into x, and x dot is outside is equals to 0. Now it's a positive value, so 0 divided by any positive value comes to 0. So m x double dot plus K equilibrium x is equal to 0. So same equation we have seen here. We have seen same equation here. Now what we need to do next is to divide by value which is multiplier of x double dot, here that is only m. So let us divide by m, what we have done here also, and then let's convert it into simple harmonic motion equation form.
Hello.
And now you can see here this K equilibrium by m, that is what it is representing, natural frequency square. So same what we got here, right? So this is by energy approach. This frequency is by energy approach. And this is by Newton's approach. I hope it is clear what is transverse vibration, torsional vibration, and longitudinal vibration. So this is ultimately classification of vibration based on the direction of vibration. Okay. So quickly, if we summarize it, then in previous case, suppose longitudinal vibration, then one spring, then one mass. So axis of spring is vertical. This is what spring axis, and vibration of mass is along spring axis. That's why that is called as a longitudinal vibration. Then in previous session we have talked about torsion vibration. In torsional vibration, again what we assume one wire instead of spring, and at the end of that wire one disc is attached, right? So if you look this top view, then this is disc, and this circle is indicating wire. So initially we are giving theta angle to this disc. Then due to theta, one end of wire is fixed, second end is attached to this then theta angle of this, that cause twisting of this wire. And then if you release, then in top view if you look, then this disc move to and fro like this. Yeah. So if vibration is about the axis of spring, then that is called as a torsional vibration, because now vibration of disc is about axis of spring. So that is called as a torsion. And the last vibration which we discussed today, that is transverse vibration. Then transverse vibration, what happened? As we have assumed cantilever beam, and this is the spring element, and at the end we had mass. So now we assume mass is vibrating in this direction. So this is the spring axis, and mass is vibrating perpendicular to spring axis. So that's why that is called as a transverse vibration, right? So these are the types of vibration as per the direction of vibration. And we have derived natural frequency equation for all these three forms using Newton's approach as well as energy approach. So these are the basic problems. In next session, we will take some complex geometries, and we will try to derive natural frequency equation and governing motion equation. Governing equation of motion for any complex system.